Hey, today we are talking about how to debate and how to discuss difficult or sensitive topics in English. Now, a lot of times when you are discussing controversial topics or sensitive topics, the conversation can almost become a debate. Conversations can get heated, and it's important to know how to navigate these difficult conversations with confidence in English. So that's what we're going to talk about today. First thing is to stay informed. Keep yourself informed and keep yourself educated on controversial, sensitive, or difficult topics that you know that you have to talk about, or that you like talking about, or that come up in conversation often. And you can do this by keeping up with current events, by researching the topic, and by listening to other people's opinion on this topic as well. So for example, let's say that you often find yourself participating in conversations about politics. Maybe your friends, your family, or your colleagues like talking about politics. Maybe it comes up often and it's something that you have to talk about or you like to talk about, okay? In this case, it's important for you to stay up to date with political developments. Do a little bit of research, do some reading, listen to what people are saying. This is also going to help you with your listening and reading skills, of course, in English. And it's going to help you hear how other people are discussing or communicating about this topic. The more knowledgeable you are, the better prepared you are, the more confident you will be when it comes to debating or discussing a topic like politics, for instance. Next, you need to listen actively. Now, active listening is important in any conversation, but it's especially important when it comes to debates or sensitive or tough discussions. Listening actively means that you are listening, you're focused, and you're paying attention to what the other person is saying. You're genuinely trying to understand them. You're not listening and thinking about the next point you have to make or an argument that you want to give. You are listening to understand, okay? Active listening is especially important in these difficult conversations because it is going to help you to better understand the other person, to understand where they are coming from, and to respond specifically to what they are saying. This is going to help you with healthy communication, and it might even help you to find some common ground. All right. So make sure that you are listening actively, not just thinking about your arguments or your next point. I know that this is difficult when a conversation becomes controversial or it becomes heated or emotional. It's not always easy to listen actively, but it's a very, very important skill to develop. Next, you can try to establish or find some common ground. Try to find a few points that you actually do agree on. This is going to help you build some rapport and get rid of maybe tension that might exist in a conversation when you don't agree with the other person, okay? So if possible, try to find and acknowledge some commonalities if they exist, okay? This is also going to help you keep the conversation from getting too emotional or too heated if you have at least something in common. I know that this isn't always possible, but a lot of times you can agree on at least one or two things. Next, you need to respect different opinions. I know that this is not always easy, especially if you really, really deeply disagree with what someone is talking about, or they're talking about something that's really sensitive for you or controversial or personal to you. Okay, I know it's not easy, but even when you don't agree with someone's opinion, it is important to show a level of respect, okay? Especially when you're communicating in English, you will definitely meet people from different cultures, different backgrounds, people with different opinions, with different experiences, with different ideas. That is part of the beauty of such a universal language like English, is that you get to meet lots and lots and lots of different people. That's one of the coolest things or the best things about my job, actually, is the amount of different people that I've gotten to speak to listen to, and to spend time with and to meet, okay? So if you are learning a language like English, which you are, it is important to always remember that you are going to encounter lots of different people. And hopefully you're going to have the opportunity to have conversations and discussions with lots of different people. And even if you feel emotional, it's important to learn how to respond in a respectful and appropriate way. And don't worry, I will be teaching you that in the next lesson. Next, be ready to give evidence and to support or explain your ideas or the points that you are making. This is very, very important, okay? And this is a skill that you may have learned if you learned how to write essays in English. If you studied in school in English, you may have learned this. But if you did not study in school and you have not really learned how to write essays in English, this might not come naturally to you, but that is okay. When it comes to debating or discussing a sensitive or difficult topic, you always need to be ready to justify your opinion and to explain why you believe what you believe. So for example, let's imagine that you and I are discussing a topic like religion, okay? Religion can be a controversial topic. Some people are religious and some people are not. If you say that you are religious and you believe in this religion and this God, and I ask you to explain why, you need to be ready to explain why. You can't just say, I know it's this way, okay? And on the other hand, if you tell me I'm not religious, I don't believe in anything, I'll also ask you why, okay? Why do you feel this way? And you have to be ready to give some evidence to explain your points and to support your ideas. If you have certain political views, you also need to be able to defend those views. Let's say that you have opinions on the best method to learn English, okay? Let's say that we are discussing whether you need to learn from a native English speaker or not, okay? And you say, yeah, I need to learn from a native English speaker. And I say, no, you don't need to learn from a native English speaker. And this becomes a discussion. You need to be able to tell me why you believe this. You need to give points to support your argument. You need to give evidence. You need to speak from your personal first-hand experience, and so on, okay? So it's always important to remember that when you share your opinion or share an idea, you need to be ready to defend and support that opinion or that idea. Next, learn to practice critical thinking. Now, critical thinking is the ability to look at, to analyze, to assess a situation logically and objectively, and then come to a conclusion. Critical thinking is a very important skill in general for learning English, and it's very useful when you are debating or discussing difficult topics. Critical thinking will help you to be more logical and less emotional, and it will also help you to stay calm. And that is the next point. The next point is to stay calm. I know that it can get very heated when you are discussing things that are sensitive for you. So some sensitive topics that we are looking at or hearing about or seeing today are things like politics, religion, artificial intelligence, abortion, censorship, gender issues, freedom of speech. There's so many issues that are considered sensitive. And even if you're not in a formal debate, you're just discussing with friends, with colleagues, with family, these discussions can get heated. And I personally have had these discussions with lots of friends, with family as well. And it is important to approach these conversations in a way that's going to help you to be productive and have a healthy discussion rather than a fight. Next, ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask questions when you don't fully understand a point, or you need some more information, or you want to clarify what the other person has said. If you want to participate and be engaged in a conversation, it's totally fine to ask questions. You can ask someone to please explain what they mean, to give you an example. You can ask them why they feel that way, why they think that way, if they've experienced something personally, and so on, all right? Questions are going to help you keep the conversation going and help you to understand the other person's point of view better. So ask some questions when you need to. Next, reflect and learn. Now, this means that after you've had a conversation or participated in a debate or a discussion, when it's over, go away, reflect on how it went. Ask yourself, okay, how did I do? Was I confident? Was I clear? Did I ask enough questions? Did I say what I wanted to say? Were my arguments logical? Could I support what I was saying? Was I able to give evidence? Assess yourself and basically assess your performance or how you did in that conversation and in that discussion, okay? And think critically about this and ask yourself, okay, where do I need to improve or what did I do well? And then the next time you have a conversation, you can work on those specific areas. Debating and discussing is not easy, but it's an amazing, amazing, amazing tool to help you improve not only your English, but your overall communication. So when you have the opportunity to participate in a discussion, even if it's not the easiest, I encourage you to do so. And then you can also do kind of an assessment of yourself after the fact. But while you are engaged in the discussion or the conversation, don't try to assess yourself in that moment. In that moment, just be present. Pay attention to what people are saying. Be an active listener and an active participant, and later on, you can assess yourself. Next, pick your battles or choose your battles wisely. In English, this is a saying or an expression we have to pick your battles. This means that not everything is worth your energy or your time. Not everything is worth fighting for. Some things are and some things are not. Sometimes when we're discussing sensitive topics or sensitive issues, the conversation can get heated, it can escalate, or it can become an argument essentially, okay? But it's also important to recognize when you need to end a conversation and walk away from it. When it is becoming hurtful or offensive or disrespectful, it's also okay to agree to disagree. It's also okay to draw a line and end the conversation. That's another part of healthy communication. Knowing when to draw the line. Just because someone is talking about something, you don't have to participate, okay? Of course, I encourage you to participate if the conversation is healthy and respectful. But if it becomes way too heated and you want to stop talking about it, that's also okay. Now, in the next lesson, I will be teaching you phrases to use in these debates or difficult conversations so that you have a great starting point and you feel more confident going into those conversations. So make sure you stay tuned for the next lesson. As well, don't forget to grab your free ebook, English Conversations Made Simple. I wrote this ebook specifically to help you with the art of confident conversations in English. It's totally free. Just click the link below the lesson and I'll send you your copy. If you enjoyed this lesson, please do give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. It helps the channel to grow and reach English learners all around the world. Thank you so much for watching, learning, and spending time here today. I'll see you very soon in another one.